Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. We have game number 2 going to be coming at you here. Pikachu taking on Team Hade in what is a gold division matchup here from HoN Tour, the winners bracket semifinals. Don't let that fool you, though, because, again, we are having some great Heroes of New Earth being played here between these two teams, as we saw in game number 1. Hade taking the first game over Pikachu. Excited to see what happens in game number 2, Trell.
Absolutely. All the teams are actually, and players are all loaded in, so we're actually ready to already jump into the game. But it was a fun-filled game for game 1, hoping to see the same thing here in the next game.
Sure are. Let's take a look at game number 2 now. With that said, Pikachu versus Hade. Let's go. Oh, setting up so perfect, and I just totally stumbled over my words, which I never do.
Same. Never do that.
Never. Anyways, Pikachu, okay, I noticed in chat once again, it's confusing. Trust our graphics, they are correct. Team Pikachu is on the Hellborn side, despite what all these tags say. Pikachu is on the Hellborn side, and Team Hade is on the Legion side. Again, I think it's just the case these guys all kind of know each other and are trolling to an extent here. But anyways, just to be clear on that. But as far as the HoN Tour teams go, these are correct. Blind banning stage, Wild Soul Ophelia coming out here from what is Team Hade, and Pebbles Fade coming out from Team Pikachu. So interesting. Pebbles and Fade.
Yeah.
Blind banned. Both of those were picked up by Team Hade.
And they were picked up right away in the first and second pick because they were in the second position.
Yep.
So, yeah, interesting blind bans coming up. But then, got to think, too, when you blind ban, I can't say waste because it's certainly not a waste, but when you use blind bans on heroes that you don't normally use them on, like Pebbles and Fade, and that does open up a lot of different heroes that normally do see blind bans quite frequently, like Moon Queen, Keeper of the Forest, Tempest, Parasite. These are all heroes that are still available. And so expect to see those actually locked up here.
Yeah, you see the Luna first pick block, but then there's the Keeper Tempest. Quick reaction coming out from Nier. Wouldn't he be happy to get even both those heroes if possible? But you know, gonna throw those there in the lock pool. So now back to Hade, as we were talking about with those carry options, perhaps. But ultimately, it is Class Heading's choice here to determine what they want to lock. Of course, going again. Why this match specifically is so important? Well, you win this one here in the winners bracket Gold Division, you actually guarantee yourself qualifying for the Diamond, because all you need to do is finish top 4 in the Gold Division. And this would get you in the winners bracket finals, which at the very least you'd finish 3rd place. So there you go, kind of a breakdown there. But again, but on top of it, so say you win this, you qualify, you still want to, of course, win the whole thing, because again, there's a lot of points and money on the line that could help determine, you know, the future, of course, for both of these teams. So not to say the road ends there by any means for these two guys. Wretched Hack Bubbles is going to be the follow-up, actually, coming out from Team Hade. So things going to finish off with Nier here, and sure enough, it's going to be the good old artillery once again, locked by the other team as the last lock, remember. So
yeah, I was going to say that too. As they have actually some smiley faces coming out because they think it's just as funny as we do. But yeah, artillery again. I don't expect to see him picked up there. It's just kind of like a throwaway lock, so to speak. I expect Keeper of the Forest first for Team Hade. To follow up after that, well, you know what? Team Pika could do a lot of different things. Now, they're a team also that I've seen run some straight-up tri-lanes with some good stunners, like, you know, Magma, Saluna, Andromeda, things like that. And I wouldn't put it past them to even just, like, not take Tempest. The only problem with that is, you know, that Keeper-Tempest combination is so damn strong, and most teams will not allow the other team to get that because of how strong and it is and how much team fight potential it provides.
Yeah. Now, the banning phase, kind of interesting there. You got your Jerizion and for Tundra, Demented Shaman, Moon Queen, and Zephyr. Big thing that stands out to me, though, you know, you still got 2 very powerful carry, your Silhouette and Draconis especially on there on the board for either one of these teams to be picked up, of course. So we'll see how that ultimately plays out here. As far as Team Hade is concerned, they will have the first pick, of course. And they're gonna think this over a little bit, as they should. Of course, you got your support options. Now Luna is in that lock pool. Engineer is actually still there as well. Wow. I kind of just assumed that he would have been banned, but no, Engineer is there. So I could definitely see him as being a first pick potential here. But, ooh, you know who else is available? Parasite. And Hade will gladly pick up Parasite there. So
yeah, again, I just feel like an early Parasite pick is kind of showing your cards a little bit early, I think. I don't know. And I was going to say Glacius is very effective against that. Now, Parasite can still be effective in this situation, and I want to say if and only if you run some very, very aggressive dual lane mid. Something that will give you a point stun no matter what. Something that can pretty much kill anything on its own just with the 2 heroes. And that makes it just, very, very easy for Parasite to come in with assistance. So I was actually gonna suggest Hammerstorm, but he's already taken up by Pikachu.
Rally?
It's not really guaranteed stun though. Like it's
True.
quick, but you can screw it up, as I've seen many teams do, because it's a little bit more difficult to hit. But I'm thinking something like Magmus, Deadwood. Yeah, I think just like a point stun, that's like right in your face, like Magmus.
Okay.
Something like that.
Hellbringer. You got an ultimate?
Yes.
Just saying.
Every 180 seconds, you run over there mid.
Hey, guaranteed kill, right? Blacksmith, there's always that guy too. That's a guaranteed stun.
Breaky's in troll mode right now, I swear.
What are you talking about? This is, hey, you want to point stuns? I'm thinking of point stuns. Okay, maybe a little bit. All right, so back over to Habit, though. Their next couple of pickups. Obviously with the Glacius, though, that's as you said, kind of showing their cards early with the Parasite first pick right there off the bat. But hey, still is a great hero to have, and I'm sure they can make good use of it. A lot of chat going on here between these two teams, by the way, as I'm sure you noticed.
Yeah, I actually see my girlfriend's
name
being typed over and over.
I am kind of curious about that, if that is actually meant towards that or something else. But
I don't know. I don't really know these teams that much. So
yeah.
Not sure.
Okay. Engineer Moraxis.
That's something that will work.
Yeah, there you go.
That is something. Now, Moraxis' stun isn't exactly get in your face and everything, but regardless, this combination of Moraxis Engineer is so damn strong. So I think it's still fine. But to be honest, I forgot that Engineer was actually still in the pool.
Yeah.
I still would have gotten Magmus for that reason. It's an instant stun. It's bam, right in your face, and it's very easy to set things up. So, Moraxis is still fine and provides a lot with that Portal King. It's very, very tanky with that ultimate.
Warbeast, the final pick over here, coming out from our Hellborn side. And now, that's, okay. With that pick, I was going to say, we have seen Warbeast also suicide, though. So I guess the option for maybe even a Tempest here is still possible. In fact, there you go. Tempest is going to be picked up by Pikachu, as well as Hag on top of that. So, interesting. Now, again, to me, with this lineup, the question is, hell, I guess, your suicide options aren't necessarily the most ideal,
right?
No matter what, but you do have some that could. You got Warbeast, Wretched Hag, and Tempest, who most certainly can all suicide at the same time. So,
I don't know. I feel like we're gonna see something off the wall here from Team Pika, the real Team Pika, like something like a Warbeast solo mid. I don't know. I'm just feeling it. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, you're totally right. Like as far as your suicide options, it's probably gonna be Tempest. And actually, I've seen Book do this a number of times where he suicides Tempest, and actually is one of the better players that fits this role. Now, it is a little bit better on Hellborn because you can utilize the deny from the Elementals and bring them over to the Ancients and farm those. I still think it's not the greatest suicide in the world. But, with Glacius in their lineup, it actually frees up passive junk like Warbeast because you can't protect them from possible ganks from Parasite. But, they could force the issue because, if you look at the lineup, they do have 2 passive junglers in both Warbeast and Tempest, so Team Havoc could actually maybe force this and go up to the top lane.
Yeah, that's actually really interesting to me for the Legion team is what exactly are they going to do as far as their lineup is concerned? Are we going to see something like that short lane keeper here? Or is he going to be in his, you don't expect him to jungle, of course, with Parasite. He is going to go the Guardian ring, so yeah, definitely expect him to be short lane, bubbles mid, and sure enough, it looks like it is going to be kind of that mana mode here. The pseudo trial lane going to be coming out from Clan Habit, so got Moraxis, making his way up there. Of course, Engineer, the one with the Ward of Sights. Klaus heading here on Parasite. He did actually go Boots first build. We do see this from time to time on Parasite, of course. Allows him to be extra aggressive. Now, Hag's already up here with this Glacius Hammerstormer, of course, if anything, protecting it. But if you're Pikachu here, do you have an answer? Do you have a response to come out as a result of the pseudo trial on top?
Well, the pseudo. Oh, you mean for the Legion team, their pseudo trial lane?
Well, yeah. So if we are going to see you would think to be Moraxis, Engineer, Parasite top. What do you do if you're Pikachu?
Well, they obviously see what's going on. They see the 3 heroes here, and all this tells you is that you're just going to have the rotation of Glacius to mid, starting out for Hammerstorm. So if Parasite wants to come up there, he has had the 2 options. He's going to have to be really, really late and go for a different hard camp up there, or just start out in his jungle with 1 creep and then go up there, because Wretched Hag, he might sit here and actually block the camp, or he might not. It actually doesn't look like he's going to. So Parasite, he's walking back here, and you see that good ward coming out, even though it probably will get countered because it was placed after Zichi's ward was placed. It still provides lots of information. So Parasite, he's going to come up here, and they're going to force the issue up against Wretched Hag. Now, Wretched Hag, a little bit more difficult to gank, but it can be done if you get like something like a Minotaur or a Skeleton King to set it up.
Now, we have seen this before, too, where Parasite, against really every jungle. I mean, he can be just a big nuisance. He can be very annoying, especially against a hero like Warbeast, where he can even take over one of the wolves in situations. And it could just be very, very troublesome for Warbeast. So we'll keep an eye on that. I see how Near here playing this Warbeast ultimately handles that. But right off the bat, Parasite hitting level 2. You see him take over the Catman champion, kills the minion with it, and then on to moving on, and actually going to get a Minotaur camp here, actually, as the Infest running off cooldown. But Glacia's clearly here to also try to make something happen, but Parasite spots him. The leech comes out. Engineer is running over. So Glacius is going to continue to run here. There's going to be the freeze on a Parasite. Another leech going to come out, and actually Engineer again, he is coming over. We do have support as well for Bubbles. Kegstone will land. Shellsurf not up for 4 seconds. It won't matter, though. Rapier actually on Bubbles. Will pick up the Bloodlust kill. So Glacius, he just gets caught out roaming around, man.
Yeah, he just played way too ballsy. Like, you have a good idea by keeping your Parasite out, but if like you said, lots of all chat coming out. But if you want to keep him out, you have to tri lane against it. You have to, or at least have your Glacius up top lane, and have your Hammerstorm farming top. Because I don't know, it's just not working out. The Parasite already gained control of the jungle now, and what do you know? Warbeast is actually forced out, and this is not what you want when you invest in a Glacius pick, because he is so good at keeping Parasite and other offensive junglers out. So they just. I feel like you should have stayed there and waited and made Parasite wait. But because they saw them with that ward and saw where Glacius was going, it made it much easier for Parasite to come up here and be aggressive.
Ooh, Bubbles is just out of mana for a Shellsurf. He does have some bottle charges. I don't think he will die. It looks like he will barely get away in the end. But you can see, the pressure that this Glacius Hammerstorm combination can put out. And actually, Glacius puts a freeze back in right there. But again, we do still have some bottle charges on Bubbles. He misses a Shellsurf, but actually uses the port with it, trying to maybe go for a bottom rune. But that rune is long gone, as I don't know who got it. I think it might have Warbeast picked it up. But anyways, now Bubbles is in some trouble. Actually, Warbeast and Glacius collapsing. There is going to be a kill on the Bubbles right there, as Near gets credit for it. It's a little bit of revenge coming out onto Bubbles. Again, just... got caught trying to fall off back there. Glacius showing his power once again.
Yeah, and I don't think that Rape had any idea that Warbeast had transitioned yet, and that kind of caught him out of off surprise a little bit. That was kind of a weird Shellsurf towards the bottom lane. Not only did it completely miss Glacius, but they have vision of the rune, and they saw what did he even have the rune? I think like he even had it. I'm not 100% sure.
I don't even know. Yeah,
but they clearly have vision of it. So maybe it was already taken by Warbeast at the bottom. I don't 100% know, but. Yep, it's unfortunate. Like I said, he didn't know that Warbeast transitioned yet, and caught him off guard.
Got collapsed on. So, battle of the minions down here at the bottom lane. A Keeper versus a Tempest. Honestly, not a matchup we really ever see when you think about it, despite these two heroes being in the games against each other so often, it seems like. They're just never laned up. So you got Tempest versus Keeper the Forest here. I'm kind of curious to see how that's playing out. Right now it's 20-2 Keeper versus a 19-4 Tempest. So seems like it's just a lot of back and forth here when it comes down to the creep farm, at least. Top lane, Moraxis is going to not be able to get in range for the Wretched Hag stun. Or to stun Wretched Hag, that is, and try to complete a kill right there. But keep up. How about this bottom lane and how it's going?
Yeah, kind of interesting. Now, I'm pretty sure, too, that if Keeper the Forest gets credit for elemental kills, it does not reflect that in his CS score.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure about that.
I remember hearing about that, yeah.
Parasite being aggressive on the Warbeast, actually. Warbeast has no boots. He could be in a little bit of trouble here, actually.
Yeah, if anything, he got the mana potion canceled a little bit early. Parasite's still chasing with some auto attacks, and again, he has another stomp coming. Granted, we can't see the exact cooldown, unfortunately, but it's not the longest cooldown. He's just going to come out at first thing, though. Leech coming out, one more auto attack, and gets the kill on a Near right there. Now, he's going to be blocked in by Hellhounds a little bit, but he walks away. He should be fine. Granted, Glacius is coming over. Tundra Blast going to be used to freeze on top of that. Is it ultimately going to be enough damage? How much longer is on these Hellhounds is a big question, as they are going to fall back only 5 more seconds. So Parasite will survive in the end after getting the kill on a Warbeast. So kind of some funny exchanging going on once again between the two.
It was really funny bottom too. I was watching this exchange between Keeper and Tempest, and Keeper used the hatchet right when one of the elementals was about to die, but then it splits
Oh.
and then goes for another kill, and then Book denies that with his own elemental, so it's kind of annoying, I'm sure, for him, but
yeah,
still doing a pretty good job. I mean, their CS is pretty even down here in the bottom lane.
Yeah, like I said, it's just, again, a kind of a battle of the minions here at this bottom side. A lot of denying, even self-denying going on as you're putting it. So once again, the tower or the lane getting pushed up a little bit, so Book will be able to take advantage. Both are level 6, of course, and again, when you look at the gold per minute chart, both are up there. In fact, Book is slightly leading in the gold per minute at 300, whereas Keeper of the Forest is at 280 or 290 about. So again, continues to be a fairly close battle, but Tempest slightly leading that. Top lane in the meantime, Moraxis. It seems like he is having a pretty solid time up here. Wretched Hag, as you kind of expect, not really able to get too many creep kills, but she is level 5, so at least getting some decent levels here at the top side.
Yeah,
and, that's good for her.
I'm actually surprised though how low CS or how makes sense is CS here. Oh, as we see some aggression here on Bubbles, he does pick up double damage. Here comes some aggression, though. He gets the Shell Surf. He has double damage. Oh, no!
Ooh.
The swing from Hammerstorm, too much damage, and just barely took him out right before Glacius was about to die right there. So good job.
Yeah, it shows you the power of that brute strength, man. But in comes Parasite. He's like, don't worry, I got this, bro. Takes out Zichi right there, and then runs away with the haste rune. So at least they do finish off Glacius. But yeah, that brute strength activated from Hammerstorm gave him the final auto attack to barely finish off Bubbles before. And if anything, deny him the experience there. So good job really on both sides. Right now we're looking at a 3-2 hero kill advantage in favor of our Legion team, but experience about 1,100 looking out here for the Hellborn side and what is the true Pikachu team once again over here. So there was something that was just purchased. I believe the Piglet Brain was just purchased on Parasite actually, so he should have a Ring of Sorcery coming. Keeper the Force is going to read right here. Tempest, the Mana Burn even coming out by Parasite right there. He's coming with the late auto attacks, and it will set up a kill. Love the Mana Burn initially. If anything, though, all the minions despawned just before. Yeah, that could have been a turn, but he survives. But if anything, that prevented him from going for an ultimate right there and maybe getting a counter out of it. So,
yeah,
good job.
Yeah, Parasite was definitely low enough. You get that ultimate on 2 with the 6 minions out, or 6 elementals, I should say. That'd be a lot of damage. We might see a collapse up here in the top lane.
Delfield coming out. There's the Warbeast, though, of course, ulti form, but this is why Bubbles is good against the Warbeast. Still locks him down. The Quickset on top of that. Will it be enough damage? The explosion maybe from Miraxis. No, barely enough, but the axe will connect. And down goes Warbeast. However, Engineer falling in the process. Hammerstorm, a great stun on top of that. Doesn't have enough mana for the brute strength, unfortunately, as he's going to use some bottle charges. Has enough now, but wants to save maybe for another stun if possible. Bubbles is on the run. Has another stun up in 3 seconds. Does Hammerstorm. It is a level 4 stun, but it's just not going to be enough, it looks like. And actually now Hammerstorm will start falling back. War decided to place down by Glacius right there, by the way. But no more deaths are going to happen as a result of that exchange.
You know, I talk about this all the time when we saw Warbeast. There was a period of time where we saw Warbeast picked up a lot, but Bubbles is so good against Warbeast.
Yeah.
At least until he gets that Trunken Head. For that reason we saw right there. You can have that haste all you want, but you jump out of that ultimate, it's going to stun you. So...
Kegstone will push Hammerstorm forward a little bit right there, and in the end he just easily walks away. But Tempest in the meantime in the middle lane. Bubbles coming in the middle. Elementals just despawn right there, and that's going to be bad news for Tempest. He will spawn some more. In comes a face hug though. Is it going to maybe ultimate right here to go? You see a great spread actually between the two just in case, and they do guarantee the kill onto him. With Bubbles getting it now, the minion's still chasing, but Bubbles will get away himself. So
now that auto attack, that last auto attack from Rape was in the air for a long time, and Tempest did have a health potion. I feel like 100% he could have lived right there if he popped it in the middle of that auto attack, which, like I said, was in the air for a long time. So yeah, a little bit of a misplay right there, to be honest.
Yeah, I heard the reaction out of you, and sure enough, yeah, that makes sense coming out from Tempest. Unfortunately, lacked for not using it, and so Book does ultimately fall in the end. He is going to pour to the bottom lane, it looks like, as Warbeast is already down here. He has ulti form ready to go. Granted, it is a Keeper of the Forest. Middle tower going down as Bubbles was nearby, but Hammerstorm looks like it's just a little bit too strong. But here we go at the bottom lane. There goes the ulti form from Warbeast. We're going to come in. No, the great Tempest ultimate just before. Keeper of the Forest, can he stay alive long enough? No, he cannot. He'll fall. There's the freeze on a Parasite, and down they both go. So Book, good timing on his part, gets a great ultimate off. And that's going to be some momentum for Pikachu.
He's like, finally I get to cast this ultimate before I die, and it paid off big time. So the numbers, big swing there in favor of Team Pikachu.
Warbeast going to lead the way down here at the bottom lane. Of course, the Abyssal Skull, you most likely figure, is going to be picked up shortly here by him, especially after a tower kill. I think he's still just short of it, but again, definitely on the way. So we're actually, there it is on the way, literally. So he has it delivered right there, so good for him. And his start continuing to look better and better now. As actually, look at the goal per minute for Nier. He is up there at 342. He's leading the game right now. So clearly the goal jumping up for him. And this is a very even spread, really, on the goal per minute chart. You got Hammerstorm and Tempest also up there. It's top three right now are in favor of the Hellborn team, actually.
Yeah.
Whereas Moraxis is also doing not too shabby. He's just below them. So 1,300 gold saved up for Moraxis, with that said. So most likely working on that important portal key of his, but not just yet.
Yeah, hopefully Engineer gets a pair of boots here relatively soon, because he's really going to need them. He's trying to spend a lot of gold on the wards and whatnot, but he really does need boots, and he is an effective support here, one of the most effective, as we've seen him picked up all the time, so he's going to need those boots here. Actually, he just bought some wards, I feel, so he's not going to have those boots, unfortunately, for quite some time. So unless they get a tower cure relatively soon, but I'm looking at the towers right now. I don't see them, you know, not that much damage off them. Maybe a little bit on the bottom, a little bit in the mid, but that's about it.
Yeah, Rhythme wants them, but again, just not going to happen at least yet here for him. Who's in here? Warby's going to collapse on big time. There comes a root on top of the kill field, and it will set up the kill. So you usually want to stagger those if anything, but hey, it actually works in the end. And Warby's fall. So I looked at the mini map and saw this. I thought it may have been an illusion, but no, Warby's playing very aggressive there in the Legion jungle.
Yeah.
And he, well, simply put, gets caught out there by 4 players. So.
Yeah, in most situations, like, you can be a little bit more aggressive like that when you have your ultimate off cooldown as Warbeast, because obviously it gives you the no collision and the haste, or the maximum movement speed. But, you know, against this team comp, you got to be more careful than that with Tree and Bubbles. I didn't even mention Keeper of the Forest to lock you down, too.
I didn't think about that either, and then until we saw it, so. Yeah, it's Warbeast is, you got to be careful, as you saw right there. The top tower being heavily pressured now by our Hellborn side. Hammerstorm does have that brute strength activated, but it's only been another 10 seconds left on it, so gonna kind of reset things here, wait for the next creep wave, and go back in. But we do see our Legion side, they are ready to go. Granted, they don't have their ultimate cooldowns just yet. That's a big thing to know. Keep the Force and Bubbles, their ultimate's still waiting to come off cooldown, so. But it doesn't look like it's going to be enough of a push. The defense is just a little bit too strong. They clear out the creep wave. And the tower will survive, staying out of deny range for now. So back to farm we go. Specifically, Warbeast in the jungle. He's got those steam boots finished. Again, still farming around 340 gold per minute. Is still the tops in the games, actually, despite that death that happened to him there at the bottom side. So
yeah,
still good for Pikachu.
And like I said, it's going to be really, really important that he buys a Shrunken Head this game to get out of that Kelp field, to get out of that Keep the Forest ultimate, to get out of actually the, well, you know what, an Engineer's not the biggest counter. Oh, he raised an Axeman mid.
Yeah, Hammerstorm, you're in trouble. Can he get the support in time? Galvanize going to be his armor buff. He's still alive, actually. Here comes Wretched X on a screen coming out. Tempest also coming in, and here's the collapse as well from Warbeast and Glacius. Bubbles being locked down. Bubbles will probably fall right here. You think it's Tempest holding in the meantime, catching Engineer to Keep the Forest. Keep the Forest does have a root coming up in 4 seconds. Can't even get it off, though. Moraxis with that quicksand, picking up his new portal key, using it on a Tempest right there. Tempest will barely stay alive. The Bat Blast off to the side. The root finally comes out, but now Keep the Forest, he's being locked down. The Rev is put down just in case. A couple more auto attacks that Bat Blast apply that might take him down. Meanwhile, up here we have Warbeast trying to get away as Parasite is chasing. Also saving from Hammerstorm with a stun. He's barely any life, but he's going to turn this around, and the Parasite gets the kill. Moraxis did finish off, it looks like, up here somebody. No, he didn't actually get anybody. He's actually just running away now. And that's how it all ends. So Keep the Forest did die, by the way. Damn, a lot of kills happening in the middle lane.
There was actually a number of missed spells in general on both sides.
Yeah.
Wretched Hag was using Sonar Scream. I think twice, just hit nothing. Miraxis missed his stun there at the end on the Glacius. He's actually getting pursued right now by Hammerstorm. No blink up on the Hammerstorm just yet, but it's pretty fast. Now, Mr. P did, Rhythme did deny Meryl and I as the Keeper of the Forest, so mitigated some gold there for Team Pikachu.
Okay.
But yeah, I saw there was a missed keg to start it all off. There was a missed stun by Miraxis, missed Sonar Scream. Couple number of missed spells there that could have made the fight a little bit more clean, but it does end up being in favor of Team Pika if you look at the numbers.
Yeah. Yeah, so for our Legion side, you know, with we did see, you know, Moraxis, of course, he has that portal key. Stayed at the very beginning of that fight when used it to kind of initiate there as well. But, you know, something that's just hitting me as well with this Legion side, they don't have a carry whatsoever. That's kind of just appearing to me. But this is definitely a makeup of a team where you figure, you know, more of the early game presence, the catching them and then pushing as a team makes sense, but the way stats are looking so far, not the best of news for them considering the makeup they have. Now Hammerstorm trying to get away right here, but he's going to be locked down. Keeper the Force was sitting on top of him the whole time. More access will use the Arcane Shield. Doesn't matter though because he's still on the other target. But Hammerstorm falls and actually Parasite comes in and takes the kill with the leech at the last second. So that is a great kill for them. And here we go. This is what I'm just talking about. You know, this is a team that will need to group up and push through to them later. And so they are going to do that right here at the top side.
Yeah, and Miraxis needs to make sure too that he's still farming on his team. Like someone needs to get a Hellflower. Like I said last game, it's so important to get one against Wretched Hag because once she gets a Shrunken Head, it's very, very difficult to actually lock her down and initiate on her. And she's usually the target that you want to initiate on.
Yeah.
In most cases, so.
Top tower, again, it should fall right here, pending some crazy port-ins. Not going to happen, though, and that'll reduce the still gold advantage in favor of our Hellborn team, however. Again, specifically on that War Beast, he's got to have some gold saved up, which he does. 1,900 gold saved up on him now after his Steam Boots Abyssal Skull pickup, so again, good for him. Wretched Hag hasn't necessarily been the biggest to farm herself, but it's now at a respectable 250 gold per minute. And then Tempest, of course, not going the Portal Key route. I mean, the Steam Boots, Mystic Vestments, Ring of Sorcery, and the Ring of Teacher here. And currently another 1,000 gold saved up. So could definitely still go for it now, but at least not just yet. She might run into Parasite right here, but going to be fine. So, oop, whoa. I thought that was a face hug for some reason by Parasite. That was just the Infest, though.
Now, this is a pretty annoying game to play Tempest in. Against both Parasite and Keeper that can cancel your ultimate even if you get that Shrunken Head. So action in mid.
Yep, Hammerstorm's going to try to chase down this Bubbles as he shell surfs away, but not going to happen. Meanwhile, we do have some response. Engineer coming up. Miraxis stumps on the Tempest right there. Tempest does have an ultimate to use. The Babylon's coming out. Energy Field will be used, but he does fall shortly after Miraxis being locked down. The Tempest ultimate is going to pull him. Miraxis actually on top of Bubbles just on the cliff right there, who has a haste stream, but he is going to be able to fall back. Warbeast ulti form chasing now. Might not be for much longer, though. The Portal Key on Hammerstorm. He jumps in. Parasite in some trouble. Yes, the Hammerstorm stun will hit. And down goes Parasite. Great pursuit coming out from Pikachu. And Bubbles is going to split up with Keeper the Forest. So, works out in the end very well there for our Hellborn team after all that initiation coming out.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, you have decent team fight on the team of Legion, but I feel right now you're going to excel more in just ganking. And this is going to start to get pretty scary because, like I said, once you get a Shrunken Head up onto Wretched Hag, and I don't know if she's going to go for a first-time Shrunken Head, but I honestly think it would be a great decision by her to do so. But regardless, I'm pretty sure that War Beast is going to pull up that gold for that, and it's just going to get more and more difficult for the Legion team to combat that.
Yeah, then you got a Hammerstorm, who's actually farming very well himself. He's in the near range of, I'm sure, level 11 for the level 2 Brute Strength, and on top of the Portal Key he already has, and something tells me he actually might have a Mighty Blade too, but currently not on it. But anyways, he's going to at least attempt to farm some Ancients right here. He does have that level 1 Mighty Swing, by the way, so just to point that out. But yeah, our Legion side, you know, if anything, kind of grouping up and pushing, continuing to try to do so. They're going to do that here in the middle lane. So that'll be the second tower now destroyed in their favor. Now 18 minutes into the game. More access trying to find somebody here in the jungle. Maybe that War Beast, but ain't going to happen. Tempest also falling back before he gets jumped too. Granted, he has 2050 gold saved up. So again, Tempest getting close to that Portal Key. But as you were talking about, I mean, this is just going to be a difficult game with or without a Shrunken Head for Tempest anyways. So Mighty Blade is purchased on Wretched Hag. So looks like the option of the Shrunken Head first is very possible now. Because of that, as there is the Portal Key on Tempest, by the way, too.
Yeah, I mean, Portal Key is still good, even when there's tons of ways for your ult to get countered. It's still effective, not even just for your ultimate, but just blink stun initiation onto someone. And then what you can do, blink stun, but keep yourself at a safe distance. Like, don't blink stun right on them. Make sure you get the maximum range of that. And then after you get the stun, kind of back away, and then wait for the fight to kind of really settle in until heroes have really found their targets, and then look to initiate a second time with your ultimate.
Yeah. So we do have the Legion side. They are more so grouped up at the top lane. In fact, there's trees being spawned by Keeper the Forest. So going to go for a pretty heavy push right there. But just as we talked about, Tempest just get that Portal Key, so maybe he can try to catch them surprise right here. So I don't believe he's showing it just yet. So Legion team, despite that though, they are kind of being spread out and playing not too aggressive here. Going to wait for the Hellborn team, if anything, to make a move. So they're not going to really push the tower fully. Instead, they are going to start falling back. And actually, Bubbles already pointing back to the middle lane, where he'll clean up that creep wave and trying to finish the Portal Key himself, actually, I'm sure. So speaking of that, he also have a Keeper of the Forest, who also is getting very close to a PK. So that is going to be an important item in this game, of course, specifically for this Legion side. We already see plenty being picked up. Ooh, Warbeast is actually very close now to Shrunken Head. He's just 1,300 for the pattern, and he's got it. So he is very close to that point. Again, going to be huge, huge, huge. Granted, he can still be locked down if he doesn't use it, or if he uses it before a keeper route. But you know, we'll keep that in mind, of course. So
yeah, that is annoying. But even then, I feel like it's like obviously you're not taking any magic damage. It's locking you down for a couple of seconds, but you're not taking any damage. You're still going to have free reign for another. I want to see how much. Okay, it's 3 seconds for the keeper route right now. So in 10 seconds for Shrunken Head, so 7 seconds of, basically still free reign. And he will do a lot of damage regardless, even though he went for his first item Shrunken Head, which, as he should. Look at his damage right now. It's still 210 max damage with a level 4 Warcry. Well, actually, it's only level 3.
Level 3, yeah. So once that's maxed down, I mean, going to continue to just spam that and even more damage. So here they are pushing this top side. Again, the Shrunken Head has been purchased, just being delivered. In the meantime, in the bottom lane, we have our Legion team and Team Have It currently up 1-0, of course, here in this best of the 3, but in game number 2, playing a little bit behind here early on, only 21 minutes in, but they are going to get another tower kill here nonetheless. And their big items are being delivered, as we talked about those portal keys, specifically on Keeper and Bubbles, now have those. Parasite has his first Arcana finish, but his farm has continued to not be the greatest. But the push will continue down here. Bubbles, but actually a lot of TPs into the top side. Miraxis being bursted down. He'll finally fall. Root is going to come up, but Warbeast is able to run away. Now they catch Tempest, but Warbeast running away in ulti form, and he'll be more than fine. Going to go for a port out here, actually. Kelfield wants... No, he still had the Shrunken Head up. So yeah, that was very close, but Warbeast does get away. And it ends up being, I guess, a 1-for-1 exchange.
And
there.
the tower.
Oh, they did get the tower too, yep.
Yeah.
They did. So even more of a benefit there for the Hellborn side.
Yeah,
Miraxis just got caught.
Yeah, and I feel that the Legion team is also just, in general, lacking in late game. Like, they have good early game presence and decent team fight, but as this approaches late game, once you get items, I mean, you already actually have good items up on a Warbeast. Like, this is pretty much the core. Anything after this is essentially luxury. And Wretched Hag can carry in the late game too. Silk and Hammer Storm. And the fact that they're actually winning as far as the numbers are concerned in both Golden Experience at this point, it's, like I said, just going to get more and more difficult for Team Have It.
Yeah. Yeah, so again, it's, yeah, it goes back to you look at the lineups. They don't have that presence, unfortunately, as this game expands on here. So time is running out, despite only being 22.5 minutes in with where we're at. Warbeast, another 1,100 gold saved up here. After that Shrunken Head pickup, you got actually Tempest, 1,600, and then there's Wretched Hag, of course, 2,300. So those Shrunken Heads, just like the portal keys are important here on the Legion side, the Shrunken Head's just as important on the Hellborn side. They got the one on Warbeast, another one coming up in Hag, and then even Hammerstorm is definitely working towards his. They were trying to set up a gank here in the middle lane, as they still might, but Hammerstorm knows something's up. He's going to start falling back, and as a result, he'll be fine. There wasn't invisible bubbles, and you see on the minimap. The rest of the support nearby, but just not able to catch him, unfortunately. So he'll get away. Fairly tanky at that. I mean, does have 1,600 life, of course, and then you got to galvanize, you got to factor in. There's the Shrunken Head purchase on Wretched Hag, though. So she now has that. Our Legion team, actually Parasite taking over one of his tree dogs there. And just use that to push, but again, it's just a case of our Legion team right now. You know, again, time's running out. They're going to group up and try to push right here in the middle lane. We'll see if this could work out. You definitely expect a Hellborn team to defend this. I mean, they are ready to go, so.
Yeah. Yeah, you got some big core items up. Shrunken Heads on 2 heroes, and Tempest Ultimate is off cooldown right now. So, yeah, there's no reason to not fight if you're them.
Shell Surf, just get up the creep wave. Again, the 2 dogs in the front lines, but you got Tempest here. It's a battle of the minions going at it. The Elementals versus the animated trees, as they're called. But here comes the next creep wave, and again, going to try to keep the pressure up. Staying fairly spread out. You do have way back here Miraxis' way, but he's being spotted by a Hellhound, by the way. There's a Hellhound that's, of course, invisible, being level 4, and it's just sitting on Miraxis. So, I mean, they know he's there, obviously. And in fact, they could jump in themselves if they really wanted to, which I wouldn't be surprised if they try to even. I mean, they're kind of creeping up a little bit, but...
well, he's invis for now.
Okay, so it's Nature's Veil, yeah.
But that is one good thing about Warbeast too, is you can use that. Oh, they're going to try something sneaky here.
Huh. Yeah, they're going around the side. Miraxis is invis once again, going to try to really catch our Hellborn team off guard.
Look at this.
Yeah, this is could be setting up. I mean, Keeper has a pretty good placement for a big root right here. Hammerstorm running in, actually. Again, there are War to Sights here, so this is a very interesting start. Here we go. Big time in the background. Will there be the follow-up damage? So Tempest ultimate going to be used right there. And now they're going to start dropping in. Comes the kill from Bubbles. He jumps in them as well, but the Sock on the sea. Hammerstorm is going to fall, but it's also in as well as Tempest and Glacius. Warby still doing plenty of damage in ulti form. He'll eventually take out Bubbles. Now he's going for Engineer. Great Kegson right there, but one more auto tech with Doom in. Wretched gets the Soda Stream off, and now Warby's out of ulti form, but he's still doing plenty of damage here as Moraxis is on the run. Warby's though now chasing. Parasite going to take over one of the dogs right there and going to try to run away with that. Moraxis should be able to homecoming stun out, it looks like. And there goes one of the dogs, being controlled by Parasite, of course. We'll be fine. So, I mean, that was a great start for our Legion team, but just didn't seem like it worked out in the end.
Yeah, well, it actually ended up being an extremely even trade of 3 for 3. And that worked out. I mean, that worked out decently, but the thing is nothing happened of that team fight. Like, no one gained, no one really lost. It just kind of puts you back at square one. And like I said, you need to be coming out in these team fights because you are going to lose it in the late game. Like, no question about it. So, very, very good idea. They tried something, and it was very, very smart. You got the initial Miraculous stun on the 3 heroes. Bubbles came in. I feel like Bubbles should have come in just a little bit sooner, though. I feel like you had multiple people that were able to cast their spells now. You had 2 different Shrunken Heads being popped in the process, and that makes it a lot more difficult. Had you done this, like, say, 5 minutes ago, 6 minutes ago, it would have been really strong, but yeah.
Look at Glacius's items, by the way. He has 3 hatchets on him for some reason.
He's just hoarding these?
Yeah, he's just finding them all over the place, I guess, and holding on to them. Hey, if you have inventory slots, I guess why not? Just to look funny, but I'm sure he was hoping that we would point that out. So there you go. The 3 hatchet build on Glacius.
Standard.
Of course, the new meta, if anything. So yeah, the even exchange, not too bad there, I guess, in the end for the Legion side, but ooh, Tempest is setting up for a big play down here. Granted, he doesn't have an ultimate. But as far as Habit is concerned, once again, going to try to keep the pressure up. You do got Engineers sprinting up there. They're really taking advantage of this Nature's Veil, sending the heroes in front. But there is a revelation right here that's actually spotting Moraxis as he was right on top of it. So the bottom push will continue, but you can guarantee the Hellborn team knows that that both Moraxis, at least Moraxis, is somewhat nearby over here. Obviously, we are going to have a vote to pause coming out now from the Hellborn team, but it's setting up to be a possible fight. Now at the bottom side, the tower is actually very low. It's probably going to be killed here.
Yeah.
With little resistance.
And again, this is one of those situations where the Legion team is just, at a race against the clock, because they should probably know at this point that they don't have the superior late game. And I have been seeing them group up a lot and try to be the aggressors, and that's exactly what they need to do. They need to, in a sense, at this point, I mean, yeah, they're still down by not a considerable amount, but I feel like they do have to get a little bit lucky in these team fights because the Tempest Ultimate is doing work. You have 2 Shrunken Heads and a 3rd one to be purchased here soon by Hammerstorm. His farm is actually relatively low considering the start that he had in that mid lane, but still, nonetheless, Warbeast is dishing out tons of damage. He has a soul. I didn't even see that he has a Soul's Bulwark. I just figured that he was going to buy it here soon with the gold he had, but he has that on top of the 2K, so he's top farm in the game by far, actually.
Jesus, yeah. He is up there, 450 gold per minute just about. Yeah, he is looking pretty damn good, and most likely, again, going to just counter push here at the top lane while this push happens here down at the bottom side. So we'll see if Pikachu perhaps, or not Pikachu, but if our Legion team here and Team Habit, they do port back and try to maybe catch Warbeast again. They definitely have potential to do that between Bubbles and especially that Keeper. Granted, the Shrunken Head can cause some issues, but apparently it's a quick bathroom break right here before we jump back into the game, as it looks like they're back. And it's just now on our Legion side to be good to go. Okay, it looks like we are going to be resuming here, so here we go. Into this bottom push again. We pretty much expect them to give it up. It's just a matter of where we go from here. So yeah, very quick tower kill coming out. Warbeast is going to choose to keep going in a little bit at least. Here, the Hellhound's leading the way and doing plenty of damage, actually. I mean, just look at how fast the tower is falling, even without him hitting it. Now he's going to join the party. So this tower, again, unless we see some vulnerability ported here very shortly, they go get the middle. There's one port in. There's another port in. They are going to go for something right here. Moraxis. There comes Engineer. Not going to chase, though. Not worth it. They just want to deny the tower. And that's exactly what they'll do. So at least they do get a tower killed in the end. Wretched Egg actually blanked away from a little bit of danger. So they did get 2 tower kills there. They got the bottom, and then they moved middle real quickly to take that out. So that's a pretty solid exchange. Granted, that is a base tower dead. for the Legion side. But getting something there at least. And big items are about to be picked up here in the Legion team too. It is kind of be your moment. What the hell?
We literally said it at the same time. Why is the courier up there all the way by its, like no one's near it?
Interesting. Yeah, that was, they were trying to scout with it or something, but oops. I mean, I don't think anything was on it.
It must have just been while they were pushing mid, someone delivered an item and just forgot to move it back or something.
It happens.
But yeah, what were the big items? So we have Hellflower now on the Parasite.
Exactly. That you got what I'm assuming worked on by Moraxis, and then you got 3,300 gold actually on Bubbles too. So saving up from maybe even a Hellflower himself. So
right.
Definitely some big item possibilities at least coming up here. So that's probably what they're going to wait for, and then try to make that happen. But
yeah, they've been able to maintain the numbers. And make sure that it doesn't get too out of hand for the Hellborn team, because it can, because you can just simply farm a lot faster with the heroes that they have. But they can't wait too long. They do need to get some core items, I agree, but they really can't wait around for Warbeast to get just massively huge, which at this rate he is starting to do so at 440 gold per minute. So they really do have to, maybe get that Hellflower on a Moraxis and just force it. You gotta push. You gotta do something.
Yep. Well, kind of just clearing up the creep waves for now, with the top lane obviously a little bit of a good push going on here in favor of the Hellborn side. Parasite, what is he? He's 4, 3, and 7. Okay, so I guess I was going to say, it kind of seems like he hasn't been the most involved. But I mean, obviously he's been here with the team and whatnot, but from a Parasite, usually you can expect some solo ganks here and there, especially earlier on, depending on the start. But I guess he really hasn't, never really has had kind of that snowballing start here. He's just kind of been gradually growing. But the fact that he has the Hellflower is definitely good, of course. What did I just see in Hag? I'm not sure what that was, but she does have one Arcana. Maybe it just was a second one. Yeah, something's being delivered. Nope, just wards on the courier. But herself, Hellflower definitely being worked. You talked about the demonic breastplate earlier as well in Warbeast, which is definitely coming up here. So, and I think Hammerstorm has purchased at least the Warhammer.
Yeah.
So he's definitely getting that Shrunken Head here very shortly. In fact, has enough gold for it now with the pattern. So just like the Hellborn or Legion side, though, I mean, there's plenty of big items being picked up in the Hellborn team. So
yeah, and at a faster rate too.
Yep.
Like when I see this passive play come out, I just see the numbers start to slowly rise for the Hellborn team. And like I said, it's just simply the fact that they have heroes that farm faster at a faster rate than the Legion team. Not to mention those heroes that farm faster also happen to carry harder. So it's kind of bad in both situations. But yeah, Demonic Breastplate's going to be up on Warbeast here in just a few hundred gold. And that's going to be pretty huge for him.
Indeed, indeed. So again, it just really goes back to our Legion team. When is that mark? And now they might try to jump Red Jacket. She has a Hasten also bottled up. It's going to be a lot of lockdown. Yes, it will be successful. The Hellflower was eventually applied as well from Parasite. So a good gank from our Legion team, no doubt. Stopping Mr. P's legendary streak, actually. And actually, Parasite got a bonus 425 gold for that. So, yeah, a little bit extra there on this side. So, yeah, great gank set up. Now they're going to apply a little bit of pressure at the top lane. But we'll probably fall back over in the jungle. Engineer getting caught out by himself. He will eventually fall right here as Tempest and Glacius collapse, actually. But this top tower is pretty vulnerable now. And it could very likely be a tower kill. A lot of ports coming in, though. There goes the invulnerability. And here we go. The Legion team realizing very quickly that they're not going to be able to get out. Bubbles will be able to. The tower is denied, by the way. And they both get out, at least, so none of them die.
That was really close up by Bubbles. Kind of a ballsy play right there. But he doesn't get spotted, and they do get the tower deny. So, again, even though you got that kill on the hack, I just continually see the numbers grow and grow and grow. And you're going to have to simply get more than that exchange because you do not have the late game. So, obviously, if you don't have the late game, you got to win it early.
Keeper of the Forest just doing his thing down here at the bottom lane again, trying to keep some pressure up. But as I say that, Wretched Hag jumps him. Doesn't have any dust there by any means or anything, so Keeper will just kind of be able to walk away and be fine. Conqueror obviously just sitting here, and especially when you have a Warbeast with the items that he has, Conqueror is definitely a big opportunity now for the Hellborn side if they really want to go for it. And it looks like that's exactly what they're going to do. They agree. There is no side here from the Legion team that I can tell, at least. It doesn't look like it. Then, and again, you just look at how fast Conqueror will drop with a team makeup like this. So, ulti form was activated by Hammerstorm. I mean, of course, you got the Battle Cry, level 4. It's going to be easy.
Yeah, and that Demonic Breastplate. Now, Bubble Shell Surf does spot it out. They might try to go for a dive here, but look at it. Just dying too quickly. And that will be a token of life here for the Hellborn team.
You gotta, yeah, it is gonna be on Warbeast.
Really smart there too, because his ulti cooldown is very, very low. Right now, I want to say it's, what, 40 seconds?
Yeah.
And it lasts for 16, I believe, so it's got a very, very low real cooldown, so to speak.
Downtime, yeah.
Yeah, so it's really nice to have the token of life up onto him once he gets level 16, and
Yep.
he's level 18, actually.
Yep. Yeah, that's a big thing to look at there. So, Hellborn team, obviously now, especially with that token of life, they feel like they're in a pretty confident spot, as they should be. That's going to be difficult news for the Legion side. The tower will fall right there. Again, they do got some good items themselves and some solid team fight, but the power just seems to be a little bit stronger right now on that of, well, Pikachu's side here on the Hellborn team, but not going to push anything just yet. Looks like they may be making their way towards the bottom lane here, actually. And if anything, try to gank somebody down here, maybe push it back a little bit. Also even steal the Legion jungle here as well. So Bubbles will be at the top side, just pushing that lane back. 3,300 gold saved up on Keeper. Wow, they have 3 Hellflowers, by the way.
Yeah.
Moraxis and Bubbles also completed their Hellflowers. Damn, that's a lot.
Well, I mean, like I said, though, the Hellborn team is matching all of that. Like, Hellflower is going to be up on Wretched Hagen 500 gold. Shrunken Head up on the Tempest. They're just getting items so much faster. It seems like just a second ago Warbeast bought Demonic. He's got another almost 2K.
Oh, this is interesting. We are going to see a jump on a Tempest. Actually, Tempest is going to be bursting out. Maybe, no, barely staying alive. In comes the Bad Blast. A lot of Shrunken Heads drop. Tempest will fall in the end, but look at Hammerstorm and Warbeast. So much right-click damage. Keeper of the Forest getting cut up by the Ice Prism. Glacial Downpour doing plenty of damage as well. And Keeper will barely survive. The haunt is on him, and he is going to fall to that, actually. Moraxis is now on the run. He did get an Arcane Shield proc right there, but he is being chased heavily. The only kill they got was on the Tempest that they initiated on. But again, Hammerstorm and especially Warbeast, just so much right-click damage there. Just destroying the Legion team, and there you go. They realize after that, it's like, okay, yeah, we're not winning this game. It's just too much damage, and we are going to have to force a third and final game. So, ladies and gentlemen, that means we are going to be going to Game 3 now with Pikachu taking on Hade here. So, looking forward to that, of course, and from the Gold Division matchup, but again, just simply came down to Team Pikachu there. They just had the much stronger late game, and it got to that point, really.
Yeah, absolutely. And, well, one of the things when you pick a Parasite with another jungler is you're going to have that jungler who can lane as well. And normally in this situation, when you try lane long lane like Team Havoc did, that short lane will be something like a carry, like something like a Silhouette or Draconis. Well, in this case, it was a Keeper of the Forest. And how much can Keeper carry? Like, not really. So it was just the team matchup. You know, they did have good early game aggression and some decent team fight, but they just simply didn't have the carry.
Yeah.
And it was starting to get to that late game point, and Pikachu by that time was already winning these team fights, and they knew it was time to throw in the towel. So
yeah,
Game 3 will be coming up, though. It's going to be epic.
With that said, don't want to take too much of a break here. I know the teams that is getting later on for them on the weekday and everything. They're in Europe, and I know for you guys as well. So we are going to take a short break here, but we will have game number 3 coming up next. Pikachu taking on Havoc. This is the Gold Division Winners Bracket semifinals. Stay tuned.